Hello, my name is Layla. I'm the wine director at Reid's Fine Foods and Reid's Runaway Gourmet. Our journey takes us to the region of Paso Robles in California's Central Coast. Paso is a line of diversity, a place of leaders and innovators committed to make a wine that represents their soil. And as we know, California is so very rich in gastronomy with an abundance of fresh vegetable fruits and seafood. California is home to some of the best restaurants in the country. As a wine destination, Paso has distinct microclimates in a diversity of soil, which creates ideal conditions to grow more than 40 different grape varieties. It has been extremely difficult for me to select one wine from this wonderful region of Paso Robles. But if I had to put someone on my tasting table, it's Dow. Two brothers, Daniel and George, are so committed to make the best Cabernet in the region. They just planted 9 different clones, and they are the only ones to plant the Tocalón number 31 clone, which produces some of the best Cabernets in the world. Here's to you guys for bringing the joy of drinking such an unbelievable Cabernet. Exquisite. In a recent interview, Daniel said that it's the rocky soil, the crumbly rocks that they are in that area that makes his wine so appealing, so different from the rest of the other producers in that region. And I totally have to agree with him. His Cabernet is sublime. It has rich concentration, but if I have to say one thing about him, it's the elegance. Nothing jumps at you. Everything is seamless. Every characteristic of the wine is just pure. He is an extraordinary winemaker, and it is a pleasure to have him on my tasting table. I wish I can come and see you soon. Of course, we have to combine the cheese with the wine because they go hand in hand. And I have selected Cypress Grove Cream Lime. It's actually a cheese that it's made for this company in Holland because it is a Gouda as it is pronounced. It's sharp, but at the same token is exquisite in flavors. Slightly nutty flavors to it, and it's one of the best producers in that region of Central Coast, California. I totally trust their product. Like I said before, this is the perfect cheese for this wine. The nuttiness of the flavors and a smooth taste to it just makes the perfect companion for a Cabernet of this quality. I hope you will enjoy it as much as I did. So Ryan, you are back at the stove, and you know it is the springtime, and our wine and food journey takes us to California. So California, come on, one of the best restaurants in the country are in California. So we have 2 wonderful things to combine and extrapolate from. The first one is, this is a recipe that I took from one of the best female chefs in the country. Her name is Suzanne Goin, and she has a fabulous book called AOC, correct? Yes. Yep. AOC. She does this dish using fava beans, but fava beans come later in the spring. So how can you change this dish to make it like more?
First thing that comes to my mind, springtime, is fresh spring peas.
Spring peas, obviously.
Crisp, light, and
great
hairy,
texture,
just
beautiful
like spring
color.
day.
We have our cherry clams.
Yes.
Or are we using Manila or a combination?
These are a combination. The
Combination?
Manillas and the razor clams are what these 2 are.
Okay, perfect. And you use some sherry also to prepare this dish to add, another
give you depth
flavor
and a little
to
bit
it.
of flavor, and then we will top it with an almond AIOLI at the end to give it just a little bit more cream to it.
Okay, so
Let's
take
start.
it over. Yeah. First ingredient,
I will
always
add your olive
oil.
And in this dish, to give a little bit more cream, we will use
add
a tiny bit of butter. We add the butter with the olive oil, because if you just added the butter by itself, it has a low smoke point, so you have the probability of burning your butter.
Burning one or the other.
So if you add it with your olive oil, your butter won't burn on you and you won't have that burnt taste
or vice
while you're
versa,
going.
if you just add pure extra virgin olive oil, it will start smoking on you.
So once you get your olive oil hot, you go ahead and add your clams.
Okay.
And we can go right ahead and add our sherry, since we're going to let it reduce and let the alcohol cook out of it.
Yeah. And it's actually going to perfume. See that?
You'll have to be careful due to the flambe action.
That's okay.
And once you see the fire go away, that's when you'll start to know that
the clams are beginning to absorb the sherry, the butter, and the extra virgin olive oil as they open. Now, Manila clams have a little bit more of a salty taste to it, so I assume we have to be careful when we butter also.
Yes.
So unless you use, did you use
we did
unsalted?
use unsalted butter.
Okay.
But you still have
Probably
to watch
for the
out.
same reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll still have to watch out on your salt at the very end.
They're beginning to open.
So we'll go ahead and add our chilies.
Chilies.
And I add them in after my mussels, so you'll still have the crispness of the pepper. You'll just pretty much infuse the flavor into it.
Right.
So you don't have a soft chili aspect to it.
Exactly.
We can go ahead and add our peas as well.
Now, are those pre-cooked?
These are pre-cooked.
So
it makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, so what do you do? To just steam them?
You just steam.
This is, it looks like it's a very, very simple dish.
It is.
All the
very
flavor
simple,
comes
very
again
quick.
from the freshness of everything that we're using.
Then we will add our thyme.
When do you put the garlic in?
I always add my garlic last, because garlic only takes about 5 seconds to cook.
5 seconds to cook.
And it's the one thing
and
that
6 seconds to burn.
most people, most people always add it first, so that's why you get burnt garlic. So if you add it at the very last second,
and that's bitter.
it'll save your dish.
So all the flavors are beginning to combine.
Then we'll add some fresh scallion.
Fresh scallion or spring onion or spring
onion.
garlic.
Many different names.
Yeah.
And then we will add our garlic.
Sliced thinly.
Sliced thinly, because it will cook quick. And you don't have to be afraid of it. It won't have that bitter taste, but you're just going to let it stew and let all your flavors combine together.
So if we think that we need a little bit more of the sherry, can we add that at this point?
You can, as long as you let it reduce down, because if you add it right in, you'll have that alcoholic taste to it.
Why don't we add a little more? Because I think, I don't know, the color still. We add a little to experiment, or you think we are at the right?
We could taste right now, and then we can see.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
And then you'll also know about if you need more salt or if you won't need any salt at all.
A little bit of salt. Do you agree?
Yes.
When do you add your pepper?
Pepper, I will do right at the
end.
Right at the very end. You could actually do it when you're plating. You could put it in the bowl and then just put a little bit on top.
Okay.
Is what I would usually do.
Okay. Will you add sherry to it, or you think it's fine?
I think it's good.
Okay, perfect. I trust your palate as much as you trust mine.
Yes, ma'am. And we are done, because now you can see all your clams are fully opened. So that's when you know you are ready. And then you'll still have
extremely easy.
Extremely easy.
And such a beautiful interpretation of spring.
Spring. With all the green in it, it looks exactly like spring.
Exactly what I wanted it to create and show. So let's show it to our viewers.
It smells so good, Layla.
Doesn't it?
It does.
It smells really good. Really,
now
really
for
good.
the best part, right?
The best
we
part.
Get a taste.
And to get some of the juice.
Oh, you gotta have the broth.
You know, this is a dish that smells extremely fresh.
Yes, the smell will definitely remind you of spring.
Spring is all about that. The freshness of everything.
You don't need a lot, just a little bit to give you a little bit more depth.
Well, I think it will definitely add that. Almond aioli.
A little ciabatta on the side to soak up your broth.
And
And there we are.
And there we are. Should we taste
I
again
think we should.
after
Yes.
finishing up? Oh, you know what? Just drizzle a little bit of olive oil on top. I always like to finish my dishes with a little bit of drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. This olive oil symbolizes the spring as well because it's the first press of the olives in Italy. You can see it's totally unfiltered, which we will show you later, but it's made from a very special type of olive called digesta. And this actually, the olives are picked in September and they bottle it in November and it's shipped immediately. It's kind of like the Novello olive oil. So, spring.
Spring is finally here, Layla.
Yeah. So, I'm going for the broth. I don't know how about you.
That's exactly where I'm going to.
You too?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God.
And you, of course, got to get the peas.
Outstanding.
Yes, ma'am. Favorite time of the year?
This can definitely be one of your specials at the wine bar. It's divine. Well, what I read in Suzanne's book is that it takes about 3 to 5 minutes, depending on the size, and we're dealing with the smallest of the clams here.
Yes,
so,
ma'am.
and it's proven. It's perfect. Delicious.
Thank you.
So here's Mac again, and now he's going to talk about seafood. One of the things that Reid is all about is we are sort of well-trained all around and we help each other with just about every department. So Mac is going to talk about Manila clams. Tell me, are they native to North America?
No, they actually came from Japan, but they're up northwest around Washington State. They have them. Up in Canada,
British Columbia, Canada.
Yeah, that whole area up there because Japan's here, they're there, and they kind of just went across the Pacific, you know.
Yeah, it's funny because they call Manila clams, and it actually came from Japan around 1920. As you can tell, they are very recognizable from the rest of the clams that we have.
They kind of look like the little neck clams, but little neck's a little grayish. These actually have ruffles and it has ridges, you know, and it's little like stripes down it, as the little neck would be solid grayish.
They're also the smallest clam, or one of the smallest. They have a little bit of saltiness to it because they come from the Pacific. If you ever seen the Pacific, I don't know why they call it Pacific, it's like really brave and huge waves and
cold.
In cold water. So this becomes perfect for this type of clam. But also I understand that the way of preparation, they cook, because they're so small, they cook very, very fast.
Right. 3
to 5 minutes kinda is the rule. Because they're so small, we need a lot of them.
Yes.
And they're so flavorful. So what do you recommend per person?
You know, if you're eating this as an appetizer, you know, anybody could eat 12 to 14 of this along with your entree. But if you're eating it as an entree, it's limitless because you could probably eat 4 dozen, you know.
I can eat 4 dozen myself.
You know, and a lot of times, you know, people do it, you know, with a white wine, a butter, garlic sauce, you know, with maybe a nice bread to dip it in because the clam is going to give that nice flavor to you.
Rind to it.
Right.
It's going to be so delicious.
That light saltiness to it, you know, it's very nice.
There's several ways to prepare, and we incorporate them in different dishes, so we can just have them by themselves as an appetizer, you know, or
stews,
kind of,
you know,
also stews, soups. Stews. Or we can add some other seafood to it and make a big dish with either pasta or rice.
Actually eat them raw.
Or you can eat them raw with a little bit of lemon juice, and oh my God, my mouth is already watering.
Yes,
you can tell I'm from the Pacific. So thank you so much, Matt.
Hey, I appreciate it.
We'll bring you back for another episode.
Thank you.